Have you started yet? Alright, let's look at the characteristic of n root, okay?
We're back!
Okay, look it up. Alright, now, look at some of the characteristic of all this. They are all on your book, in your book on page 401 in the green box. Okay, but we're just writing it out right now. Yeah.
I was joking.
Alright, look at the n root. Okay, you will take an n root of b, and if b is greater than 0, and if the n root is an even root, then you will have one positive and one negative root. Can you give me an example for that? Can you give me an example of any, take a, let's say, a square root of something.
Square root of 9.
Square root of 9.
3 and positive.
Negative positive 3. Okay? Now, if that index is even, no, it's odd, I'm sorry, then you only have one positive root, no negative root. So let's say if, what can you think of? Can you give me an example? Give me an example? No? I'll just say the index is at 3 and the radicand is 8. So what is the number?
2.
2. So you can see there's one positive root, no negative root. Okay? That is when if b is greater than 0. Okay? Next. When b is less than 0, what do you think happened? If b is less than 0 and the index is even,
Then 6 is a B, right?
Then it would be, the answer would be negative.
if I give you an
Would
example,
be
let's say
imaginary. Would be imaginary.
2 and negative, very good, negative 4.
Oh, it depends on what the degree is.
It doesn't matter. If the index, not degree index of or n root, if the n root is even,
Yeah, that's what I mean by the degree.
b is
N is the degree,
negative,
right?
it will always be imaginary.
Yeah, if it's if N is even.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Even.
that's the degree.
Well, degree, you're talking about power.
Yeah.
This is n root.
Well, yeah, but okay.
I know what you mean. Okay? If the n root is at what is that? And b is negative, what will happen? What will this answer be? Yeah.
Negative 5.
Negative 5. So what it's telling you, that's only if the n root is odd and if b is less than 0, there's only one answer, one number, and which is the negative root. Does it make sense?
What is the top one, the 2, negative 4? So it's
There will be an imaginary. There's no real root. Last will be 0. I mean, it will be easy. If b is equal to 0, what is the root?
0.
0. Okay. So this on your book, again on the green box. And let's read it maybe together, see if it makes sense. And the book is said, let n be the integer greater than 1 and let a be a real number. If n is odd, then a has one real n root. If n is even and a is greater than 0, then a has two real n root. If n is even and a is equal to 0, then there's one n real root is 0.
Mm.
If n is even and a is less than 0, then a has no real n root.
Mm.
Okay, let's do some example. Let's do some example here. I think we did that. If you look at example number 1, find the indicated real n root of a. Okay. If n is 4 and a is 16, which means you're taking a fourth root of 16, what the answer be? Ready? Ryan?
B. Square root of 2?
Square?
Or like the
You
fourth
take the
root of
fourth
16.
root of 16.
That would be the root
Square root of 2.
Square root of 2, right?
Just 2,
It's
right?
2 times 2 is
Times
4.
2 times 2.
4 times 2 is 16. That's 3.
No, I know.
4 times 2 is not 16.
I mean, no,
No, like
4
the
times
cube
2
root
is
of
8
16
and 8.
is 2,
Oh, okay.
right?
It's a 2.
It's 2 times 2 times 2
Yeah,
times 2.
and the cube root
Okay.
of 2 is the cube root of 16
So-
is 2, so that the fourth root would be the square root
No,
of 2.
cube root of 8 is 2.
And so the cube root of 16.
Is 2. The cube root of 16 would be
So
4.
again, just think
No,
I
about
not
thought that was I thought
No.
that was the square root of 16.
Square root of 16 is 4, yeah.
So
what
then the cube root of
2
16
times
is
2 times it by itself 4
It's not
times.
like
What
a
number
rational
the
number.
time itself 4 times? It's 16.
So there's no
It's
real
2. And so do you remember, by definition that we look at, an m root of b, if b is greater than 0 and is even for the index, then you'll have positive and a negative.
So the square root of 16 is 4, and the cube root of 16 is 1.
Then you have to use calculator.
It's not a real number.
It's a real number, just a lot less.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what I meant. Alright.
And another example.
You'd be right
We
back
have to the end of class.
after this commercial break.